Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Silver. Our guest today is my good friend Thomas Parilla, president of Parilla Investment Group. Welcome back, Thomas.
Hi, welcome back as well. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to see you. We spoke last month a little bit about the silver or the gold market. I wanted to get you back on because so much has developed since then. What do you see or outlooks right now as the Fed just had their recent meeting within the week or so? Yeah, what do you see within the outlook for gold and silver after this meeting?
Fascinating. Yeah, I think we're finally getting to the point where we've worked through the Fed rate hikes,
Right.
and it's pretty amazing when you look at the price of gold sitting around 2,000. The fact that we've been able to go from all these rate hikes and still be around 2,000, I think we've priced in almost the worst case scenario. And now, if the Fed pauses and then later, in 2024 pivots, there's going to be some real upside in the precious metals market.
Yeah.
Gold and silver. I mean, especially silver right now. I just saw the number came out yesterday from the Silver Institute. 140 million ounce silver deficit this year.
Wow.
It's amazing the price, or that the price is still sitting down there. I mean, in
Right.
a normal market, supply demand, the price should be higher, but it's coming. You can only hold prices down for a particular period of time, and sooner or later they're going to find their natural level. There's a lot going on in China right now. I'll tell
Yeah.
you, that's the
What
part that's going to affect gold a
a
lot.
lot of people on social media have been talking about the shift of gold to the east and what are you seeing in China?
Massive. The numbers they're reporting are 2,215 tons of gold, but I think the actual number is going to be closer to 33,000.
Wow.
I think they have accumulated an amount of gold that is just massive, and the United States is sitting on about 16,500 tons.
That we know
So
of.
that we know of. So the Chinese are sitting almost on twice the amount of gold. So if they sit back right now and decide, okay, we're going to weaponize gold versus a weaponized US dollar, then it becomes interesting in a hurry. And
Right.
it seems like that's the way we're going. Right now in Shanghai, gold's trading at $100 premium. And the only reason it would be doing that if people are anticipating that the Chinese are at least anticipating revaluing the price of gold.
Right.
And that would change everything just overnight.
And Libya is I remember that's what Muammar Gaddafi was trying to do, was trying to switch the African countries to a gold dinar currency that you can purchase, buy or sell oil with gold currency from Africa. And I think Libya had the equivalent per like citizen, the most amount of gold per citizen. So overnight, of course, it would have shifted the balance of power from the United States to Africa because the dollar's worthless. But what happens when China does that? Because they took out Libya and Gaddafi, and boom, there's no more gold dinar. But what happens when China does that?
That's the question. Is that a declaration of war?
Right.
And I don't think so. I don't think right now, being two nuclear powers, I don't think they're going to go to war with it. I think they're going to have to
Right.
find some way to go ahead and come
Work
to
together.
and maybe it's a case where the United States finally comes back and backs the gold here also by gold. I was looking at these numbers; they're staggering. When Nixon took us off the gold standard, which a lot of people consider that a default,
Right.
since then gold has gone up 726%. The U.S. dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power during the same period.
Wow.
So it's just an incredible number. So it's pretty hard for anybody to argue going back to a sound dollar and something that's backed by a real commodity. So maybe it's not just gold, maybe it's a basket of commodities, but gold would be the anchor. But the Chinese are going to be the key. I think they're to the point now where they see that they have accumulated enough quietly over the last couple of years, and it's possible that they've been the ones behind suppressing the price because they wanted to accumulate it, and once
Yeah,
they
yeah,
got it, then
absolutely.
they'll turn it loose. But I can tell you the gold that they've moved in from Africa that's probably off the books is staggering. I
Yeah,
was
absolutely.
tons and tons a month they've moved out of the DRC, Uganda, Sierra Leone, Ghana. They've moved a ton out of there.
So I just wanted to let everyone know about our new sponsor, Strategic Wealth Preservation. They are an international precious metals dealer and they are a secured storage provider that have headquarters in the Cayman Islands. The company owns and operates a large Class 3 UL rated vault in the Grand Caymans, and they offer other strategic locations as part of its global storage network. They specialize in the acquisition, secure storage, and liquidation of precious metals for individuals, companies, trusts, and wealth management professionals on behalf of their clients. So if you guys want to check them out, the link is in the description below. Do you think China and US would ever work together to bring a one world central bank digital currency? Do you think would they ever work together on that and then just not even back it by gold?
I think they would back it by gold initially. I think that's how the Chinese view a way to break the U.S. dollar.
Right. But what
Backing
if they don't want to back it? They don't want to break the U.S. dollar and they just want to work with the U.S. like what they've been doing, and they just create a digital currency not backed by gold. Would they do that?
I could see the Chinese doing it because again, that would give them complete control over their population.
Jeez.
Here in the U.S., I think there'd be more of a fight over it because I don't think here people would want to give up that kind of freedom. When you move to a digitized currency, the government really controls every penny you've got. And if you said something political that they don't like, they could just turn it off. I think we've got a lot of issues here we've got to deal with. Right now, I've been watching some of the problems in our banking system now for months and months. Right now, we're looking at about $500 billion in U.S. bank losses on our U.S. banks. I think that number is going to go up probably to as high as maybe even 700 billion. So we're sitting there looking at massive losses in our banking system. So you've got a situation where the U.S. is sitting on a massive amount of debt. We're sitting on massive losses inside our banking system. And you've got the threat that the Chinese may back their currency in gold. If they do that, they're really putting the Fed in a checkmate situation where we've got to make a move. Our balance sheet in the Fed was 1 trillion in 2007. It's gone all the way up to 8 trillion in 2023. Our U.S. debt to GDP in 1980 was 32%. Now it's 122%. I think people have got to get used to the fact, now inflation is coming down, but I think people have got to get used to the fact high rates of inflation it's just a preview of probably what's coming as some of these things start to fall apart. And at that point, I think you look at the United States and we're going to have to monetize the bulk of our debt. And when we do that, there's no way to keep inflation under control. So I think we got a little preview also, at the bond market, we had kind of a mini collapse. I think that's just the beginning. I mean, we've got maybe $7 or $8 trillion of debt coming due that we're gonna have to refinance. And that's just going to be a disaster for us. I don't see how we can do that and still keep interest rates low.
Absolutely.
Fortunately for us right now, I mean, if you look at the dollar index, we're at 104 right now. So it's come back down a little bit, but still, it's still, fairly strong. The 10-year yield was just a little over 5%. Now it's down around 4.6, 4.5. So they have been successful in bringing rates back down a little, which is helping. But I just don't see that they can do that long term. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, you look at the fundamentals of the gold and silver market, and the prices just have to go up based on what we're looking at.
Oh yeah, it's inevitable. I think it's just of how, like, when it'll come, and if China and the US are suppressing the gold prices, then also obviously it correlates with silver. But if it will break one day, I think, Thomas, I totally believe it's inevitable.
I think your followers are doing the right thing. It's not about trying to guess the top or the bottom when you're buying. Keep accumulating.
Right.
And you think about the last 3 years, your group has accumulated a lot of silver, especially, but gold and silver. So
yeah, we just love silver.
That's the way to go. I mean, just keep accumulating it over time. You're going to make a lot of money on it. It's just a matter of when.
Right.
And you hold on to your purchasing power, which is really the key.
Absolutely.
So I do that. I mean, I think every month try to keep accumulating. If you want to add a little bit of volatility into your investment, maybe some leverage, the junior miners right now really look fantastic. I looked at a number the other day. The junior miners are trading at a 50 to 70% discount to 2021.
Wow.
What I try to tell people is accumulate gold and silver. That you're buying and hold. If you want to trade paper, go ahead. That gives you a little bit of excitement in your day, something enjoyment. I like the hunt. The junior miners are, to me, I like it because it's just like discovering gold. You
Right.
go out, you have an idea, and you look at it. I try to rip companies apart, and I look at the ones that are doing all their drill results because that means they're doing their homework. I look at their capital structure to make sure they're not flooding the market with shares, and then I look at their management. And I like a couple of them right now quite a bit. I mean, I don't know if you here in the United States, we've got one Arizona Gold and Silver. The stock symbol is AZS. It only has a market cap of 29 million.
Mm-hmm.
And their drill results are just fantastic. And I look at how their capital structure is right now. Friends and family own about 41% of the company. Institutions 28, or I'm sorry, insiders 28, and institutions 9. That only leaves 22% retail still sitting out there. And I looked at this merger that took place the other day. Calibre Mining bought out Marathon Gold
Mm-hmm.
and went off at a $250 million valuation. So you're looking at some of these juniors. I mean, there's Arizona Gold and Silver trading at 29 million. Goliath, GOT, they're trading at a market cap of 75 million. So I think you can go and pick and choose some of these junior miners and just kind of put them into your portfolio.
Right.
But those are the ones I'd trade. And same thing if you wanted to buy just the index like Nugget and NUGT, it gives you 2 times leverage. It's a great way to add a little bit of leverage to your portfolio. But what you want to do first and foremost is accumulate your gold and silver piles to begin with. That's your anchor.
Right.
And then if you want to add paper on the side, just for the leverage of it, or just the enjoyment, you like to go ahead and hunt for the companies, you do that on the side as well. But the
Mm-hmm.
main thing has to be you anchor it with gold and silver, maybe platinum right at your center.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a, you know what, it's especially with everything going on, Thomas, it's a crazy time in the world. So accumulating is such a huge advantage that I think everyone will have, especially going through this digital age in the future. But we want to thank you so much, Thomas, for coming down to Wall Street Silver. Where can everyone connect with you?
Yeah, they can call me right at the office. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. That's the easiest spot to get me. Or they
Nice.
can reach me at 814-824-4326. That's my home office.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, it's a huge pleasure, and hopefully, as the market develops, I know we'd like to bring back our guests, but it's a huge pleasure having you back on every month. And as we're watching Powell closely, so we'd love to have you back on within the month.
Well, thanks for having me and have a great day.
Awesome. You too. Take care, Thomas.